Kabir will tell you the truth, go wherever you like, to Calcutta or Tibet. If you can't find where your soul is hidden, for you the world will never be real. Go in, turn in. Find out who you are, and you have started moving towards God. Moving towards one's own being is moving towards God. I don't know what sort of a God we have been talking about. Kabir says people go on talking about God, but I don't know what sort of a God we have been talking about, because if you have not known yourself, all talk about God is just rot, meaningless. It is nonsense. The caller calls in a loud voice to the Holy One at dusk in the Mohammedan mosque. The caller calls in a loud voice to the Holy One at dusk. Why? Surely the Holy One is not deaf. We have created our own gods rather than looking at the reality. We have imagined our own gods. We have dreamed our own gods. And we have made our own rituals. Now, calling loudly to the God simply means your God is deaf. In fact, no word is needed between you and your God. Loud or not loud. No word is needed between you and your God, because God understands only one language. It is not German, it is not English, it is not Hindi, it is not Sanskrit, it is not Arabic, it is not Greek. God understands only one language, the language of silence. Why? Surely the Holy One is not deaf. He hears the delicate anklets that ring on the feet of an insect as it walks. There is no need to shout. In fact, real prayer is not saying something to God, but on the contrary, listening to God. Listening silently if He has to say something to me. All prayers that you go on doing are pointless. Learn to listen. If God has to say something to you, learn to listen to the still small voice within you. Stop talking. Stop the inner talk, the inner chattering. And that silence, prayer arises on its own. Prayer is a silent heart full of gratitude. Go over and over your beads. Paint weird designs on your forehead. Wear your hair matted long and ostentatious. But when deep inside you there is a loaded gun, how can you have God? You can go on doing rituals, but if your heart is full of violence, if you have a loaded gun in the heart, and that's what is the case. Mohammedans have been fighting with Hindus, Hindus have been fighting with Mohammedans. Christians have been killing Mohammedans, Mohammedans have been killing Christians. Religions have been a calamity to the world, not a blessing. A curse, not a benediction. More people have been killed, butchered, murdered, raped in the name of religion than in any other name. This is very strange. Prayer is on the lips and a loaded gun in the heart. Unless your inner violence disappears, you cannot be prayerful. And why there is inner violence? Because there is competition. Everybody is trying to outdo others. Everybody is trying to go ahead of others. That's what you have been taught, to be ambitious. Ambition is the root cause of all violence, and your all education is of ambition. Be the first. Attain to the gold medal. And then your whole life you are trying to be the first. Become the Prime Minister or the President. We teach people ambition, competition. And when you are ambitious, how can you be prayerful? And when you are ambitious, how can you turn in? Ambition has to be fulfilled there, outside, in New Delhi, in Washington, in Moscow, somewhere there. These are the new holy places. The ambitious person cannot turn in. It is impossible. The competitive person cannot turn in. He is always looking at the other. He is always in a war. How can he be loving? How can he be meditative? Kabir is right. He said, you go on talking about God. Great theology is created. Great philosophical argument continues. And in the heart, a loaded gun. The real question is a transformation in the heart. But up to now, that has not happened. A very proper old lady bought a parakeet which was guaranteed to be able to speak. But all she could say was, I am a horse, I am a horse. Very enthusiastically, while flapping her wings, the very proper woman complained to her minister, who told her of a couple in his congregation who owned 2 male parakeets who behaved very properly and could perhaps influence the woman's parakeets. The minister borrowed the couple's male parakeets and lent them to the woman. She put them in the cage and they settled together on a perch opposite that of the woman's parakeet. Very soon they lowered their heads and engaged in a beautiful low-voiced prayer. The female parakeet flapped her wings and sang, I am a horse, I am a horse. Whereupon one male parakeet nudged the other with his wing and said, our prayers have been heard. Enough for today.